guy who saves for 20 years to buy his dream car. He finally shells out a fortune for a brand new high horsepower Lamborghini.
Oh my God.
Recognizing the deeply felt significance of realizing his lifelong dream, he drives over to a nearby Catholic church and knocks on the priest's door. "Father, I was wondering whether you'd be willing to say a blessing on my Lamborghini." "Certainly, my son," replies the priest. "But what's a Lamborghini?" "Sorry to have troubled you, Father. I just have a feeling you're not the right man for the job." So he drives to a nearby synagogue and repeats the question. "Rabbi, I was wondering whether you'd be willing to say a blessing on my Lamborghini." "Certainly," replies the rabbi. "But what's a Lamborghini?" "Gosh, Rabbi, I guess you're not the right person for the job either." So he drives to his local Unitarian Universalist church and finds the minister. "I was wondering whether you'd be willing to say a blessing on my Lamborghini." "Certainly," replies the UU minister. "What a fantastic car! Oh, I'd love to have one myself. But what's a blessing?" What is a blessing? Several of you have shared with me that that word has no meaning for you. Or more troublesome yet, that the word has negative connotations of some superstitious ritual which imagines a higher power sanctifying something. In fact, I know several among you who've been dreading this month examining the word blessing. Well, here it is, our theme for January. And I invite you to journey with me into a different exploration of this word. Traditionally, yes, some higher authority, either a god, a guru, or a religious leader, bestows blessings on people or things. Blessing is a rite that has been used in one form or another by all major religions to bless food, babies, marriages, precious objects, lives, homes, and sanctify sacraments. Etymologically, it was actually a term derived from Germanic paganism during the medieval times, meaning to make something sacred or holy by sacrificial custom. It took on a broader meaning when the word benedicere was translated from the Bible into Old English and became to speak well of, and eventually to praise or extol or to wish well. Common usage has many of us blessed with "bless you" when we sneeze. We hear that from the religious and the non-religious alike. In fact, I suspect it contains little to no spiritual significance these days, but is simply a cultural norm. The phrase originated as "God bless you" during outbreaks of the plague. Sneezing was the first sign that you might have the plague, so Pope Gregory I ordered unending prayer and chanting of "bless you" in the streets to help mitigate chances of catching the plague. So yes, the term clearly has religious origins. So many people today choose to use the German word Gesundheit, which means to your health, instead of "bless you." But the dictionary also defines the word as to bestow good of any kind. To bestow good of any kind. And that is how I wish to redefine it, as something we Unitarian Universalists, theists and non-theists alike, can get behind. Blessing is such a beautiful, poetic, and unique word. It seems a shame to only leave it in the hands of theists. Blessings emanate from thoughtful contributions or treasured circumstances that enhance our lives. Blessing can mean giving or being given something precious, something sacred. They do not have to be bestowed by a divine or consecrated entity. What if blessing came from us? What if blessing came from community? I bless you, you bless me, we bless each other and this planet. Unitarian Universalist Jean Harrison Nuyar in the book Fluent in Faith says, when we touch and are touched by one another, touched with openness and trust, and with good and healthy intentions, we experience a blessing. We may touch one another with our eyes, with our hands, with our words. If this comes from a deep place of authenticity and caring, she says, it carries a wondrous power. What she's speaking of here is that we can bless one another just by offering each other kindness, concern, and love. We can bless one another through thoughtful deeds and encouraging words, through loving touch, or being truly present with one another. We can bless each other by offering a smile, or a helping hand, or by listening attentively without trying to fix or change what is. And caring for our earth, our beleaguered planet, is a blessing to all existence. Blessings are the gifts of our attention and love. They are standing for justice. They are standing for equality, truth, and goodness. In fact, standing on the side of love, being a stand for love, is a blessing we as a faith offer the world. Blessings are also the unexpected gifts and bonuses in life we can be grateful for. I receive a blessing from someone anytime they're considerate, stand up for me, listen or say kind words. I'm blessed when people are thoughtful or generous towards me. I'm blessed by my family and friends, the roof over my head, and having enough to eat. I'm blessed to enjoy good health, to have meaningful work, and be part of this wonderful community. It's a blessing to join together, to hold hands, and do what we can to make our world a more loving and just place. It's a blessing to live from the values that we all share so deeply, to be here on this shared journey together. For that matter, it's a blessing to be alive. The gospel choir, the Salah Gospel Choir, is blessing us today with their extraordinary music. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And Jerome blesses us each week with the beautiful music he chooses and directs so thoughtfully. And Daniel, our wonderful pianist, blesses us. And Catherine blesses us each week with the care, creativity, and thoughtfulness she brings to our religious exploration program, and with the amazing gifts she often gives us to take away, like our Choose to Bless the World coins. Treasures. And of course, Reverend Rebecca blesses us every week with her love and leadership of this congregation. You all bless us through your presence, your volunteer work, and your commitment to this community and the world beyond. Blessings can also be nature's gifts, such as a cool breeze on a hot day, or the comforting shade of a giant sequoia tree. A long-awaited rain, which is such a blessing when we get that here in Southern California. Or the magical twinkling of a starry night sky. Or the infectious laughter of a baby. Blessings are moments of joy, of relief, of sanctuary from the sometimes complex and harsh realities of life. So what if we, just as any priest or deity, have the power to bless one another? What if we as a congregation are holy enough to bless each other just as a religious religious leader would? What if we have the capacity to make one another's lives or life on earth a little better? How then might we choose to bless the world? Former Star King's School of the Ministry president and renowned contemporary theologian Rebecca Parker entreats us to choose to bless the world. In her book, Blessing the World, she writes, "The purpose of life, then, is to discover the joy or well-being that simultaneously pleases us and blesses our neighbor. Every act we commit is a contribution to the world. The question is whether our actions will be a blessing or a curse. The basic question of life is," she writes, "not what do I want, but rather, what do I want to give?" But sometimes in life it's not that easy to see how we bless the world, and blessings in our lives may feel few and far between. George Bailey, in the iconic film It's a Wonderful Life, constantly gives to the world. He sacrifices for others in order to save his family business and his town from succumbing to the greedy, mean enterprise of the notorious Mr. Potter. George works to make the world just for all, to make sure all have access to housing, a warm meal, and a life to be proud of. He works at a job he doesn't love to provide and care for his family and community. He puts off his dreams of travel to help others. He appreciates and cares deeply for all those around him. But he's completely unaware of the tremendous difference he's made in others' lives, of how he's blessed countless people. So one day, after years of being worn down by sacrificing his own life for the needs of others, he eventually snaps and sees little value in going on living. On the verge of suicide, it takes an unlikely angel in the form of a kind old man to show him what his town and family would be like if he, George, had never been born. Without George, his town is sold out to Potter's conglomerate, where poverty and despair is rampant and lives are ruined in the wake of raw capitalism. People are harsh and unfriendly with one another. In fact, several people whose lives George had saved died in this reality. His wife remained shut down and alone, and certainly his 4 children would never have been born. His brother would have died and not be a decorated war hero, and his mother struggled to go on as a widow without George's ongoing kindness. Only upon seeing the huge difference he made in hundreds of people's lives, the ways in which he blessed a whole town, does George realize that his life is in fact a miracle, and so worth living. He chose to be a blessing to the world again and again, but he didn't realize the impact of that choice. He could only see his increasing pain and struggle, as opposed to the huge difference he was making every day in the lives of others. In the end, George decides to go on living, even if it means going to jail, and he's grateful for the miracle of his life. As he returns home, the entire town gathers together to show him how much he is loved and valued, and to help in practical ways by paying off his company's debt. He's saved from jail and realizes his purpose in life. In order for our lives to have meaning, we need to be aware not only of our blessings, but also how we, by our mere existence, bless the world. Every one of us has gifts that are uniquely ours, with which we bless one another. Every one of us makes the world a better place by the ways in which we help, we care, we love, and we share. So as we stand here at the beginning of 2015, I'm wondering if we can create more than New Year's resolutions. Losing weight or going to the gym more are all fine and well, but I'm wondering how we might choose to bless the world this year, as individuals and as a community. How might we choose to make a difference to our loved ones, to our friends, our neighbors, and the strangers among us? How might we choose to make a difference to our precious planet Earth? Many of us are grateful for the goodness in our lives. Count your blessings every day is not a trite statement. The more we look and appreciate the blessings we already have, be it 3 meals a day, a comfortable bed to sleep in, a roof over our head, a friend to share joys and struggles with, the more we realize that many don't even have that, and that we are blessed indeed. But what if we were to notice not only the blessings we receive, but also the ways in which we are a blessing to the world? What if it was okay to become more aware of who we are and what we do makes the world a better place? So that we become conscious of the significance of our lives. I know it's sometimes hard to accept that. To that end, I've decided to keep a blessing box this year. Each day, I'm going to write down a blessing I'm grateful for and a blessing I've offered the world on different colored pieces of paper. A blessing received and a blessing given. If I feel low or I'm struggling at any time during the year, I can simply open the box and read some of my blessings given and received. And by the end of the year, I hope to have a box overflowing with examples of ways in which my life is blessed and how I have chosen to bless. I can't think of a more wonderful Christmas present to myself at the end of the year. And I'm imagining it will help me be more present and aware of the good I'm receiving and giving. Just like George Bailey, by finding out how we bless the world, we might discover that our lives have great purpose. That by being ourselves, by offering our gifts and our presence, by simply being here, we might make the world a better place. Many people wonder, what's my life purpose? Well, I believe our life purpose is to be the best version of ourselves we can be, and in doing so, bless the world in ways only we uniquely can. What are the gifts you have to give others? What are the talents and ways of being that flow from you, that enrich other people's lives by their mere existence? What is your unique footprint on this earth? Discover it. Use it. Choose to bless the world with it. That is your purpose. May you know that you matter. May you know that however you choose to bless the world, someone will breathe easier. Someone will feel loved, someone will feel seen or heard, and the world will be a kinder, gentler place. May you choose to bless the world one day at a time, and in blessing, become more and more aware of how blessed you are. Bless you.